Okay, let's get going.
Okay, I think we've got a quorum. I'm Megan. Thank you for joining us. Okay, very quickly, let's start. It's 7:31. Did you want to look at the minutes?
Yep.
Good. Anyone have any comments on it or corrections they want to make? Not, can I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Second from Jane, all in favor?
Aye.
Yep. Terms of communications, two things. Bianca, Richard, and Anand were all reappointed to 3-year terms. That's questions on that. I also received a lot of stuff today from Catherine Freegang on the sustainable kinetic, which is something she's working on with the Cornwall Conservation Commission. Unfortunately, it came in this morning, so we can't talk about it at today's meeting, but I would circulate it before next month's meeting, and it will be on the agenda for next month. It actually sounds very interesting. A lot of the things they're trying to do are pretty closely aligned with our objectives. They have a number of steps that they want us to take and items to report. So anyway, I'll get that out shortly. And with that, I think we're on to Megan. Are you ready about your business?
Sure. So I don't have a per se presentation put together. I just figured I'd come on and kind of let you know where things down there and what the plans are moving forward and all that kind of good stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, so we last Thursday opened the bakery. And we plan to run that at least through the end of December, through the holidays. We wanted it to be, we didn't necessarily have someone to come in there yet, so we're doing that. We have trees and wreaths and all that Christmas stuff. Moving forward, we're gonna, have the garden center open in the spring and focus a little bit more on native plants. And hopefully do kind of education maybe on the weekends or something along those lines. Other than that, the same type of, selling local meats and as many local products as we can. And I don't know, do you guys have any questions for me?
Did you got something going? I was down there the other day and there was no parking room.
Yeah.
So I think you're off to a great start. There were people out on the road, parking in front of each other to get in. So I think, that's a very positive sign. And it really just underlines the need way to get something, first thing in the morning, I think was discussed at the last meeting. So I wish you us with that.
Thank you.
Are you going to keep the cafe going, you think, full time?
So we are going to be open Wednesday through Sunday. We originally
Yep.
thought we'd try to do 7 days, but right off the bat, something happened with the girl that we hired. And then anyway, so staffing is a little bit of an issue, but Wednesday through Sunday for sure.
Good. And you're sourcing the baked goods, I assume, from, or are you?
We're
from
sourcing,
Susan?
well, yeah, we're sourcing and we're baking some in-house. Yeah,
Some great people behind the counter.
thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about the lead up to opening and sort of what worked, what was easy, what was challenging, what was wish we could do better as a town, as a community, to make the opening of a business like yours easier or less, with less friction? Or any
The
suggestions
opening of the whole building in March or of the bakery?
of the whole building? I mean, it's been less than a year, so just sort of maybe some lessons learned, some advice, some suggestions.
I mean, I have to say that I really think that the town is very supportive. I mean, especially because some people are like, well, literally I'm in Sharon, so am I really Cornwall? But I thought that everybody was really supportive of us. The Cornwall Chronicle did an article, the Lakeville Journal did an article as far as the specifically. I mean, I think that everybody was as supportive as they possibly could have been, quite frankly. I can't think of anything that was lacking. People were really kind and came in and supported us and were encouraging. And yeah, I can't think that the town lacked as far as support. And opening the business wasn't the easiest thing because, I never ran a business before. So as far as that goes, that was, challenging for me, but that was more personal than I would say, town wise.
Now that it's open, is there anything that the town could do to help?
Well, the Explore Cornwall page, you're always posting stuff for us. That's really helpful. I mean, I don't know, guys. I don't really know. I mean, I feel supported, I guess is the point. I don't feel that there's been anything lacking. You guys included us in the Cornwall days or whatever happened in July. Actually, our vacation was already planned, so we weren't around for that. But the adverse, oops.
You can still see you.
Okay, hold on. I don't know what I just did. Huh.
Doesn't matter, it's working well.
Oh, then I guess I won't be able to see you guys then. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry I don't have much better feedback because if I didn't feel like the attentive, I guess I would have it, but I feel like everybody's been really kind and supportive. And I think that the Explore Cornwall stuff helps. I don't know, do you guys have other ways to advertise I mean, what else are you doing for other businesses?
Well,
Yeah.
we're trying to really create an atmosphere and a community of the businesses operating in Cornwall to be mutually supportive. And it will shortly be getting into a business meeting to be held at the end of January, I think. Where there will be a grouping of all the businesses in Cornwall, which should be great. One question I had was, it does seem to me that sometimes the signage for you, if you don't know you're there, it's not the easiest to find. And I just wonder whether, in fact, getting some signage, up on the green outside, outside Richard's shop, on the green, I mean, of course, mightn't be helpful to you.
Yeah, that probably would be helpful. I definitely have had people say, even though I have my sign on the signpost, that they drive and don't notice. So I think as long as that would be allowed, I think that probably would be helpful. We do put a sandwich board to kind of draw more attention because that signpost is set back a little. But if that was something that the town would be okay with, I would participate in that. Wish I could see you guys. I don't know what the heck I did to this.
Lovely.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't see you, but anyway. So yeah, that would be helpful. I would definitely be open to that.
Good. Does anyone have any other comments or questions?
There we go.
One other question is, I guess I'm probably already going to know the answer to this because of what you're selling, but are the your clients locals versus visitors? I'm assuming it's local.
I would say it's more local. I would say maybe 30% is people dropping in that are going to be driving by and that aren't aware anyways, but I would say mostly people are local.
Did that change when the market when it was shut down? Change in your clientele or your cadence of foot traffic?
Yeah, there's definitely people coming in, more people coming in there looking for lunch, and stuff along those the market close. And we're not fully able to accommodate all of them, unfortunately, but yeah, I would definitely say since the market, more people coming in there.
Okay. What are the restrictions on that property? I mean, I heard sort of speculation about septic and things like that. Like, what are your restrictions vis-a-vis, having more seating or, hot food or whatever, what are your limitations?
So right now it's zoned it's a non-conforming lot. So it's non-conforming commercial, really residential maybe whatever it ever was, which was a bakery and a plant nursery. So it's no consumption on site, and the outdoor seating kind of got in there like through a loophole type of thing. I mean, I have the permission to do it, but the indoor seating gets into whole, whole design flow. It's this whole, we're going to zoning in Sharon in January to try to get that changed, but it's not, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We probably have to get a B100A for a proposed septic system, and then possibly a grease trap in the ground. And it's a lot of different stuff. I don't know what the definition, the question has been, what is your definition of a bakery? Because why bakeries have sandwiches, but Strobel's Bakery in Kent, the town I grew up in, always sandwiches. So it's interesting to me that there is no definition from the town of Sharon what a bakery is, but they just say we can't do certain things. So it's an interesting situation.
Megan, do you have anything printed that other businesses could hand to people who come by looking for things to do and places to go?
I don't, but we can put something together as far as that goes.
I have others here in the Pottery, and I know there's stuff down at the local and so on. And if you had something, other businesses, I'm sure, would promote it.
Be happy to put something like that together for sure.
Yeah, we were hearing last week from the owner of Cornwall Electric Bikes that a lot of his customers, they can get something to eat. So a very sensible move. Good idea.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that sooner than later then.
Yeah.
I think it's when Will is able to open at least the Cornwall market, and if not, where the other property he bought, because then there's going to be a lot going on down there. Because unfortunately, we are with what we can do right now on that property, and I don't really want to take the avenue of doing it without the good grace of the town, So yeah, I think it'll, we're going to do everything that we can to provide what we can for people. And then hopefully Will picks up the slack when he can open.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Megan, and good luck.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
Thanks. And then when I get those, something printed up, who should I give that to? Should I go around and just bring it to Bianca and bring
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, or if you shoot me an email, I'll pick some up.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you for, including me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. You're welcome to stay if you want to, but I quite understand if you don't.
Yeah, I've got my daughter downstairs who's by one of her brothers. So I said, don't let her upstairs.
Yeah, that sounds a prudent call.
Yeah. All right,
you.
guys. Well, thanks so much. Happy holidays, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The next thing is we talked about the $3,545 of ARPA funds last month, and we were going to think about it and revisit it at this meeting. And Jane, I think, looking into perhaps forming a committee. Any reports you want to share with us on that?
I spoke to Gary about it, so I have a better understanding, at least a little bit better understanding of this. There is no official criteria or application process in place at this point in terms of distribute that money. So what he and I discussed, and I think it makes sense, and I'm happy to do this if it's agreed upon, is I thought I'd get artists together, if people think that makes sense, to discuss how they think it would best be used. My own inclination just is that multiple smaller grants, like maybe 500 each or something, would, be nice. Then you'd get 7 people getting them, opposed to one big grant to one thing. But I thought the place to start would be to send an email out to, I was thinking the it is the Rose All grant list, and ask some people to get together, and we could brainstorm, should it be a lottery, should there be a system, whatever seems to make sense.
Good. Well, I think that sounds a sensible approach. As you pointed out to me, we've got another third to get this sorted out, but
It'll take that long.
time will pass.
Mhm.
And the most important thing is that we don't let things.
So if you like, I will send, but I wanted to make sure that people think that's a good idea.
I think it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
May get lost in the December mail, but follow up again in January.
It doesn't need to be a ton of people, just, multiple opinions.
Perfect. It's not on this call, so it's not that we won't get a report from the selectmen this time around. The next question is where we are on the plans for the formal business gathering. Did everyone get the draft postcard sent out by mail?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Does anyone have comments on that to the extent they haven't already shared them with her? I think it does the trick. Is there something else you want on it or what?
I was just a little concerned about that it might be early for business owners. She had it at 5. I don't know if they can come at 5 if they're keeping their businesses open.
Simon, what's the name where you describe this event?
I think it's really been the Cornwall business gathering, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure we've
Yeah.
established a name. Jane, I think what you're saying makes sense. Maybe we should. Neil, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, maybe push it to 6.
6, yeah, 6:30.
6 or 6.
No, it's 6, start at 6 and then let it, sort of unfurl and maybe start talking, to people like 6:30, have some social time before and then after.
So call it for 6, you're saying?
And then what's the date of the event?
January the 26th is the date, the straw man date that we've been going with.
Did we decide to have a sort of a keynote speaker or some main?
We certainly didn't reach a decision, I don't think.
So, all right, but there will be discussion about the agenda.
Yeah, there's going to have to be, and then probably we ought to get that fixed by the next meeting. We're going to get an advertisement into the Cornwall Chronicle, which we have to. That has to be in by the middle of December, doesn't it, Bianca?
By the 15th, I believe.
I've read it a couple of times, so I'll keep reading it. But I feel like to be. I mean, this is this networking? Is this a gripe session? Is this sharing? Is this? We need more of a hook. You need a reason to come. I guess the open bar might be the reason.
I think, well, my vision for it is it's really meant to be a networking event, but it's also to, reduce the EDC and show that there is a group here who are trying to be helpful to businesses in Cornwall. You may remember, I think Duncan asked the question meeting, what can the EDC do to help businesses? And I think, this is a very practical illustration of what we actually could do. I don't think that many inbound contacts from businesses in Cornwall. But I think if we can share with them what we do, what we're trying to do, and what resources we do have, hopefully we can change that. But anyway, that's my view. Neil, do you have different view, Richard?
Well, maybe adding on the card something that says, this is what the EDC does for you. This is what we think the EDC is doing. And then what do you think the EDC should be doing? I mean, you want to ask people for their input at some level, as opposed to telling them everything. We're telling you this, we're telling you this is what we're doing, this is what blah blah blah. You want to have make it a two-way conversation for people there to feel that their opinion would be valued.
I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
that's
the
a
hook
good
is a
point.
conversation about this in Cornwall.
An open conversation about business in Cornwall, is that, yeah?
Yeah.
And that would allow allow the EDC to sort of start the conversation by saying what they're doing, and then maybe some of the other businesses could indicate what. Well,
Right. I was just thinking, I mean, here's the agenda that we've talked about a little bit, reaffirming, telling folks what our committee does, talking a little bit about what we have, underway, and then an open conversation. Yeah, I mean, I just wrote this, which is what you were saying, Richard, maybe the hook. I just thought networking, I might not be that interested because I know everybody. I think I know everybody, right? I think I connected with the people I be, but I think this is probably what people are looking for, is to have a conversation about this.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see a little bit more, maybe salesy is the wrong word, but more emphasis on sort of collaboration, problem solving, networking. How do we as a community make your job easier, make it a more attractive and lucrative place to do business? These are the resources that you may know exist. I'm just putting if I'm getting out of work at 5:30 in my small business, it's going to make me want to get up and drive 5, 10, 15 minutes to come to this.
Mhm.
What am I getting out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, I think about this committee as two jobs: understand, appreciate, and promote the existing businesses, and secondarily, understand what we can do better to make it a more attractive place to come. I mean, are we a liaison to the Torrington Health Department? Can we help you navigate the permitting process? Can we help you with real estate? Can we, no patient sort of says anything about it. Sort of says come to a reception and learn about the EDC.
That's fine. We've got to be a bit careful not to get ahead of our skis, because frankly, we're not in a position we can guide them probably to professionals who can help them and give an outline. Maybe back to what Duncan was saying, we actually should have Gordon lead this off and just talk about what he's doing to get businesses in Cornwall. That I think in itself would be an attractive thing for people to come and hear.
Maybe a goal of, I thought that collaboration was a good point. In other words, to promote collaboration between businesses. Let's say people are having certain events or something like that. We can sort of attract more customers if more of us are doing things on certain times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also, I think just to meet one another. I mean, citizens don't have time most of the week to go gallivanting around. I mean, Neil, you have time to visit businesses. I don't. I mean, I think a gathering like that gives you the opportunity to meet other people outside their business and to ignite sort of a connection that once was there when one did not have to be constantly in one's business 24/7. I mean, that's how I feel. Like it didn't always be like that, that I had to work so much. I feel like I'm trapped to my entity at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume that other people might feel the same way. And we don't have these meeting places like food entities currently where you run into one another. You grab a sandwich and so and you chit chat. We don't have those places at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree, Bianca, that it's isolating because I'm here all the time. So I'm also not, Neil, I'm sure you know so many more people because you've gone around to all these places, and other business owners are in a similar position.
Yeah, I know. I joke with both of you all the time. You're always like, no, I can't go. I have to work. Yeah.
Right, well, I guess what I'm hearing is, I throw out the suggestion that we're trying to get Gordon to do it. Does that make
Mhm.
sense to everyone?
Mhm.
Open discussion, on what businesses are, what businesses are in Cornwall, the business environment, and how the attendees feel it could be improved. Opportunity to meet your fellow Cornwall business leaders, opportunity to meet the EDC and hear what it's doing to support businesses, but also for the EDC to hear from you what you would like to see the EDC doing for business. We need to get promote collaboration. What we're doing to promote collaboration in terms of they have been organizing and will continue to do. So somehow we need to compress all that into the back half of a post.
Well, it would also be good to have Mayor talk about her role in representing Cornwall on the tourism board out further, to bring people in from the outside, because we can't sustain ourselves just on people living here. We definitely need that huge engine of tourism.
Neil, what else do you on this topic?
This was just the latest, but I think maybe oh, sorry, here it is. I can send this around. This is the document that's been in existence, but maybe you could send it to everybody, and everybody can put in their feedback, and then we can talk about it at the next meeting. For the, I'm just making some changes here based on all the conversation that I'm hearing. And I'm just considering if we need to make any change here to Mayor's copy. It's like, it's this paragraph here. Meet your Cornwall business leaders, hear what the EDC is doing to support businesses in Cornwall. Maybe we just need to amp up this.
I feel like it needs to be stronger. It needs to be more celebratory, more kind of like, let's do this. Let's get together and brainstorm and meet each other and socialize and break bread. And like, we all have a lot to offer. We can all make each other better at what we do.
Just have to be careful of and not preach to business owners that the EDC, it just makes me think of Reagan. Can't believe I'm bringing him up. Whatever it is, the 6 most terrible words in the language. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. So I want to be careful that we don't portray ourselves, the EDC, that we're sort of the answer and we have the solutions. I think it'd be better to sort of say, here's a few things that the EDC has done. Bang, bang, bang. List a couple of things the EDC has actually done. Maybe one or something, a thing or two that they're working on, and move along. You don't want to have a whole lecture of 10 or 15 minute display of what the EDC thinking about doing or going to do or whatever, because I think that will almost get a little boring.
I think that's exactly right, Richard. And I think we have to be careful not to. But I do think a very valid question. And again, this was a comment I've heard. We heard at the last meeting was, what does the EDC do? So I think we need a couple of comments about that at the meeting. Again, like you, I absolutely do not want to say we're here to help hold through the establishment process, because that's not something we.
This is a very time thing, but I think it should say business owners rather than leaders. You don't want anybody to feel that it's not for them.
I think
Well,
what we were
is it-
trying to get at there was to include managers as well as owners. I mean, for example,
Well, maybe we can find a way to say it,
Northeast Lumber is obviously managed.
right? Um, how about businesses or whatever, but I just think business leaders, when I hear business leaders, I'm thinking than myself.
Okay, well, let's take that out and just say meet your fellow Cornwall businesses. Like
Yeah, something like
getting
that.
rid of words is good.
Where do we see business leaders? Oh, I see,
And the
sorry.
second point on the back. Let's
I
go.
see, got it. Okay. I mean, maybe,
I can
possible.
work with, who would like to work on this? I can certainly work on it with Mel. Oscar, do you want to kick in? You've had a comment on this.
I can send a draft to you all, just to start with.
All right,
Okay.
It's good.
now what do we feel about the date? Are people comfortable with this date, Thursday, January the 26th?
Is that a space and time that does work with the library?
Fine.
Or are they going to be receptive to having 10, 20, 30, 50 business owner managers partying in their space?
Let me check. I don't think it'd be a particularly raw.
Yeah, probably not, though. You're right. You're right.
Obviously, we should confirm with the library. Subject to the library signing off. Is everyone okay with this date?
Mhm.
I think it's more important just that the fact that that it's an open date for them as opposed
Yeah,
to.
no, you're. And I think the last point we've got is the draft of the meeting calendar this year. Has everyone had a chance to go through that?
Mhm.
The one date that stood out to me was December 6th.
The day after Christmas?
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure
thought
that,
Americans didn't observe Boxing Day.
well, I'm not sure that we do, but sure how ready people will be to have a meeting.
What would you propose? Would you like to move it up to the previous week?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I hadn't gotten that far.
I'm not wild about doing it on that date either. Bianca?
I think let's leave it like that and we can make up our minds, closer to the, cancel it. I think it's, we don't have to really think about it now.
Okay. So I will, we'll go with this for the moment. Does anyone else have anything else they want to bring up?
One thing I wanted to bring up, if we could make it possible that town hall is the agenda and Zoom link again as it used to be, because we don't get the public as much involved any longer in meetings, because Joyce is not sending it out to their email list.
I think that makes perfect sense. We're trying to operate in your absence, Bianca.
Trying to send it out to the community network. Okay.
That's a good idea. Well, I think Richard you did send out a blast to people in Cornwall on the Cornwall network, didn't you?
Yeah, you did.
I did, yeah.
Okay. And with that, we have a motion to adjourn.
Wait. Sorry, there was a comment last month about Richard's talking about the Cornwall Village Improvement Society refunding. Was there an update on that?
The update is that I have resubmitted all the information to the appropriate people, to John, and any updated information that came from the so it's now in John's hands, and I'm assuming that somewhere I lost the original stuff I sent him, and now that he has it, he will meet with members of the village improvement, and they'll decide what they're going to do. I explained it all, the expenses, the original from our last year's budget, our allocation from this year's budget, our allocation of additional funding for the overage, and explained that any money that could come forward from their organization would help the do other projects. So
So again, you've resubmitted information and you're following up again.
I'm just waiting to hear back from them
Okay,
now. I hope to
good.
hear something. I would
Thank
hope
you,
I
Duncan.
will have something by the next meeting.
Right. And then any other reports on improving Wi-Fi? I guess we need Gary for that, right?
Gary also is going to be here.
Anything on spring events? More to come? All right, I've just these other things in last month's agenda. I just want to make sure they don't disappear.
Bianca?
Okay.
I
Thank you.
have one more thing. The map that we have is starting to run out. I have very few left. We should probably for next year start working on updating that again. If we should go forward with, I think it's a good promotional measure. Tourists are picking them up at the tour kiosks in town. Maybe we could start working on that. Maybe I could work with Jane again on an update on that.
Good idea. There have been a number of changes in the businesses. And this time
Right.
will be,
Right,
once we know what's happening exactly down in.
right. Maybe like
Bridge.
February.
Good idea.
I guess one thing I would say, just that is an update in Cornwall Bridge, the market has closed. That has closed just last week. And I mean, this may be common knowledge now, but the work has begun. And Will is pretty excited about trying to get stuff done there. And I mean, I'm not quite sure what his time frame is, but it was delayed for, as we all know, for a while, probably 30 or 60 days for whatever reasons. And but now it's moving forward. So that's kind of exciting. It's kind of exciting to see that happening. The flock happening on that building, and now Megan offering food. So those are three things happening in town that last week those things was happening. So now three things are happening.
Richard, can you tell us, I don't know what's happening at the fly shop.
Well, I think he's been renovating that space too, and he has some plans for it, but I think at the moment that and I don't want to be speaking for to make sure this is what my understanding of what he's that he at the moment that the front and center is the market. I think that's really what the focus is going to be doing, is the market, and I think he may be renovating the fly shop space for his office, maybe for use at this point.
Should we invite him as our next guest speaker?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
So I had invited, what's the name? The physical therapist for December, because I had to sort of schedule things before Germany. And maybe we could have him in January.
Yeah, I think understanding what he's doing and how we could promote would be really helpful.
Oh, why didn't I reach out to him and see if he'd be willing to talk to us, or when he might be willing?
Mhm.
And if necessary, we'll have 2 people in December, or we'll
Right.
have them in January.
Yeah.
If one works.
Yeah, it's also so busy, he doesn't have time for it either. I mean, that's. I
Yep.
don't,
And he may not be absolutely certain of what. Let's try and see where we can get. Anything else, anyone? Motion to adjourn,
Moved.
all in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
And an honorary. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Next meeting is on
Thank
the
you.
27th
Great.
by Zoom.
Thanks.
Wonderful.
See y'all
Bye-bye.
then.
See ya.
Thanksgiving.